What is up, wrestling fans? Welcome to the 371st Hot Tags edition of the Smark Out Moment Smack Talk podcast. I'm your host, as always, Tony Mango, and joining me, as always, is Robert DeFelice.
Oh, it's been a long year, Tony, and we're only 8 days in at this point because it has officially passed the 12 o'clock hour on the East Coast, and I am a tired person.
I know exactly what you're saying, because I'm in a mid-yawn right now. It is a long fucking year. God damn it. Yeah, we didn't do Hot Tags yet for this year, and we're not going to recap everything from the past 3 weeks, essentially, because that's just way too much, but we will harp on a couple different things here and there. We're going to backtrack a little bit on some other kind of topics and all that, but thankfully we were hit with like not a super impactful Christmas and New Year kind of time where it wasn't like 700 stories that were huge came out. So we're not really missing too much, but if you think that we, really are missing something, you really want us to chime in on whatever it is, then drop a comment below. Tell us what you want us to talk about. But we essentially are going to break down the more recent current events, some of the gossip, some of the rumors, some of the bullshit, all the other kind of stuff like that happened in pro wrestling over the past couple of days, a little bit beyond that too. And I want to start things off with one of the saddest thing to talk about, which is Mean Gene Okerlund had passed away. We, of course, got on Monday Night Raw tonight a video package tribute to it. Hulk Hogan came out. That was their way to kind of like bring him back into the fold a little bit too. Of course, they immediately tried to capitalize on that when it came to merchandise, which, of course, they went straight back into like, God damn it, WWE. There goes all that goodwill. I guess the first things first to just address, Mean Gene is somebody that a lot of people have spoken a lot about over the past bunch of days in ways that, of course, we can't. Like, they knew him personally and all that other kind of stuff, but everybody kind of harping on the same sort of ideas. Best interviewer of all time, potentially. Great host for a lot of different shows, so on and so forth. What were your first thoughts when you heard about the Mean Gene passing?
I had sent this in the group where it was January 2nd, correct?
I think so, yeah.
And I turned my head from my phone for 5 minutes to post something on eWrestling News, and I come back in and my timeline is flooded with Mean Gene Okerlund, and it really stung. And the thing about Gene is that he was the voice of the WWE. He was the voice of that entire boom period. In a lot of ways, he's the voice of mainstream pro wrestling for a specific generation. And Hogan awkwardly touched on this on the show, but when Gene died, I kind of felt like, ooh, the 80s were a while ago, huh? Like, you look at these awesome WrestleMania tapes, and who's really, of the major players, who's really left?
Yeah,
You
it
got
was.
Hogan.
It was kind of awkward. You mentioned this when we were just getting ready to start recording, and I want to give you credit for it because it makes sense. He's on the promo. He's saying, you're booking a match in heaven right now with Macho Man and with Mr. Perfect and Rowdy Piper, and who's the other one that he mentioned?
He said, Mean Gene's setting up a tag match right now between the Macho Man and the Ultimate Warrior against Mr. Perfect and Rowdy Piper. It's like, God, I felt remorseful for Hogan because the man is literally coming out on live TV and being like, I don't know what to do here. All of my peers are dying.
Yeah, like, I mean, and this sounds really morbid to think of too, but my first reaction after hearing that was, God, I wonder who the next to go is. Because inevitably, somebody is going to be the next to go, and it's going to be more than likely somebody from that era. It's going to be a Hogan or a Flair or Ted DiBiase or Honky Tonk Man, or you know what I mean? Like, there's like lots of different people that thankfully are still around, but fewer and fewer every single year. It's just how life fucking blows, you know?
I think it hits Flair hard too. And I think Hogan and Flair are the two that really come to mind because they're the two pillars that are left. Like, we lost Macho, we've lost Warrior. Piper was a big one, Dusty was a big one. And it really hurts because it's like, this is the era that shaped wrestling as we know it. And we're all old enough to remember these guys, and they're starting to pass away.
Now, with Mean Gene, he's the type of guy that I've mentioned this before many, many times. In the Monday Night Wars, I was a WWF guy, not a WCW guy. And I've actually taken recently to watching a lot of old WCW Nitro events and stuff like that, just kind of like put it on, fall asleep to. And I still see why that's the case, because it's like, there's just something that feels off about it to me. Like, when I see Piper doing stuff, like, I don't remember it because it wasn't my thing and everything. And with Mean Gene, if I think of Mean Gene Okerlund, I don't think of too many particular moments. Like, my go-to first one is just the sign falling in the background and him just going, shit, like, I mean, that's, yeah, it's just like, that's my go-to thing. But like, generally speaking, I think of just, well, let me tell you something, Mean Gene and Hulk Hogan standing beside him, whether it's WCW or WWF, but he really was like that voice of that era. And the next person to come along to really kind of make it feel like it was something different to me was Jim Ross. And they weren't in the same capacity. I mean, Mean Gene wasn't a commentary guy, and JR only did like sporadic interview type stuff. But the more we see people like the Mean Genes go, the more that it really is sort of just like that 80s type of thing is just fading away. It's really sad to,
it's very sad.
Start looking at everybody in black and white now. And
for me, I was a WWF guy like you, but I was born in '93, so live for me, Mean Gene was WCW.
He was the Hotline and all that.
So when I think Mean Gene, God, I think of Ric Flair and the Mean by God Gene, and it's just, I watched a lot of compilations, honestly, of Ric Flair just going Mean by God Gene, because that is my childhood. And then you feel the remorsefulness for the announcers and interviewers of today, because they don't have that personality. And one would assume it's because, they don't get the opportunity to. But like, Sean Mooney, Mean Gene, like, they were all distinct in their own way. And that's something that's dying off as well.
And not all of them, of course, were able to do that. Like, nobody's going to be like, man, I remember all those legendary moments with Todd Pettengill.
I love Todd Pettengill because as we've discussed many times on these podcasts, I'm a mark for 95. And Todd Pettengill is the voice of that era. And I get that nobody in the wrestling industry is going to miss him. But, again, kind of speaks to nobody can hold a candle to Gene Okerlund.
Yeah, it's really, like, it really sounds horrible to say this, but I think it needs to be said just to, be logical about the situation. When he was on Legends House, I could tell that he wasn't going to be around, another 30 years type of thing or something. It's just, pure age, and he's been getting worse and worse looking and all that. So I was prepared that he was going to be going, and, that still doesn't, of course, make it good or anything like that. But like, when you see that the people actually do kind of just pass on, no matter how much you're prepared for it, it's still always just kind of like, crap, I wasn't, expecting that to happen.
Prepared for it.
Yeah, like, it's just sort of, eventually we're going to get news of all these other types of people. And, I hope I'm around long enough to be able to see the people that I grew up with more that are older than me pass away more so than, me passing away first and stuff like that, knock on wood. But like, the more that like these people that I actually, because, they say like Toots Mont passed away or something. I'm like, I don't even know anything about him. So there's no connection to me. Or even the people like Gorgeous George, which I've seen a little bit here and there, but it's just that wasn't my era. Now we're getting into that era, and it's just sort of like that's, Mean Gene is like, yeah, I know Mean Gene. Like, I've watched tons of Mean Gene footage over the years. He was always the guy on those VHS tapes that I would rent on at Blockbuster and everything. And God, one of these times we're gonna get that news report 30 years from now, whatever it is, that like Shawn Michaels or somebody passed away, and it's just gonna be like, whoa, jeez.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big one. I often think about like Flair. Flair is going to leave a big hole in the industry, and Hogan too, for that matter. I don't think it can be overstated what that generation has accomplished. It's weird to watch things knowing that you did grow up watching it, and now these people are just no longer there.
Yeah. Like, it's just, I mean, it's egocentric or whatever, but like, to me, the fact that people grow up in different wrestling eras and they don't know the same thing still kind of gets me every once in a while. And that there's going to be people that like, never have a frame of reference of Mean Gene Okerlund, and it's like, man, you're missing out because he was so fucking good. Every time that somebody passes away, for the most part, people start talking about how great they were, and they start like, can't speak ill of the dead and all the other kind of things like that. But it's like,
with Gene, it seems so authentic.
Yeah, like he really was just that fucking good. Even when it came to something like saying WWF, I can't fucking say W without like going out of my way to try to do it. And he was just like, WWF and just whatever like that. It's like he had the talent for that kind of a thing and the personality for it. And, he stood out in a land of giants as a guy in a bow tie interviewing the giants with more personality than a lot of the people did.
You know what, though? They hired a man to his strengths. They hired somebody with a great voice to hold the microphone and speak. And I think that can't be, understated. Like, Gene was meant to do what he did for a living.
Kind of makes you wonder why they don't do that a little bit more often.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just too hard to find people that are willing to do that traveling schedule, be so good at things, be passionate about wrestling in particular, like, everything like that. But it's also sort of like, you can't just throw every random good-looking 20-something-year-old woman that pops into NXT, put them on an announcer spot because you don't know what else to do with them, and then expect them to be the next Mean Gene Okerlund. Like, it's just, you can't do that.
And for that matter, I know there have been reports that Howard Finkel isn't in good health. And there's a whole generation that does not understand the voice that Howard Finkel was and what he brought to wrestling. And I feel like it's the same thing for Gene. A lot of people, yes, they know the whole, well, let me tell you something, Mean Gene, but they don't get that it wasn't just with Hogan, it was Flair, it was Savage. It was for younger guys, Shawn and Brett. And they would, Gene would carry a young Shawn and Brett into these first solo interviews and really help them through and make them stars.
Something that we can't really do because it's not the point of it and the structure behind it. But let's just say theoretically, if we were to do a Mount Rushmore of a broadcast team, like an all-star broadcast team, you pick like, you got one show, you got 2 to 3 commentators, you got your backstage interviewer, you've got your, host of the show, like whatever that, that other kind of stuff like that. I think like we'll get eventually, we'll do like, Mount Rushmore commentators and stuff like that. But like, I think it's pretty pretty obvious. Mean Gene Okerlund's got to be the interviewer, right?
Mean Gene Okerlund is absolutely the backstage personality, and there's nobody that I would slide into a slot with more certainty other than the person I just mentioned before, Howard Finkel, as my ring announcer, because that voice is iconic.
Yeah, Howard Finkel's the ring announcer. Mean Gene Okerlund's the interviewer. And then when we start getting into the commentary, it's a little bit,
And I'll tell you right now, for me, for commentary, it would be like an 80s Vince, 98 Jim Ross, and Bobby the Brain Heenan.
That would be so fucking good. Oh, man. Yeah, so the Mean Gene Okerlund tributes have been going around. They've been doing 10 bell salutes and different things like that, which goes to show how much respect that he has for them to do much more, because there's plenty of people that haven't gotten anything. There's plenty of people that get a quick little one-frame graphic kind of thing at the beginning of Raw. Some people just get one video package. And with Mean Gene, it's a different story. Mean Gene's got the whole, like, multifaceted episode type of tribute thing and all that, which is, that's good.
Well deserved.
But yeah. So there's no transition that can work well with this one, but let's just go right into Priscilla Kelly.
Oh my god. Well, you know what the perfect transition there would have been, and I'll let you take it down to bring it back up. If you just go, well, there's no transition. Fuck it.
There you go. So, Priscilla Kelly, you might not be somebody that you're too familiar with if you're listening to this. She wrestled in the Mae Young Classic. I believe she lost in the first round. I think she lost to Deonna Purrazzo, if I remember correctly. But doesn't really matter. She, in many ways, is referred to as like that girl that looks like Paige from a lot of people, and could have potentially come into WWE somewhere down the line. Could have gotten signed to NXT. Doesn't seem like it's happening anymore with the thing that's happening recently, because she is going viral because she did a little spot on some indie wrestling show. Do you happen to know what show it was off the top of your head? I don't feel like looking it up.
No, but I've seen the clip enough times.
Yeah, I saw the clip, and if you don't want to see the clip, I don't mind explaining it to you in a less graphic kind of detail. It's not that graphic. It's just fucking gross in theory and all that other kind of stuff. It's Priscilla Kelly is fighting somebody, and she says, "You want the tuna?" And she proceeds to put her hand down her pants, pull out a used tampon, and shove it into the other person's mouth. There has been tons and tons and tons of criticism both ways regarding this. You got people that are saying, how is this offensive when Joey Ryan does the things that he does? You've got people saying, it's wrestling, who cares, it's hokey, you do anything to get a pop, it's the social media age, and whatever you can do to get your name out there, then that's what matters. Priscilla Kelly herself has said, look, I'm getting people that are clicking on my account. Like, that's all I give a shit about. You got other people that are saying this is absolutely disgusting, which I'm kind of on board with. People saying that this is a disgrace to pro wrestling. Jim Cornette went off on the whole idea. Priscilla Kelly's, she's got a set of t-shirts that she's selling now to go along with it. Portions of the proceeds, I should say, are going to the Freedom for Girls charity, which I don't know anything about, but, that's good. Where the shirt says, I bleed for Priscilla. And
that's
before I saw that, I was pretty much just entirely against the whole thing, but the fact that she's doing that kind of makes me go like, all right, I kind of like that idea. But my gut reaction to this was, actually, my first reaction was, why is everybody talking about this? Like, what's going on with Gail Kim's talking about something, whatever? It took me a while to find a clip, and then it was like, ooh, yeah, that's pretty fucking gross. For that matter, I think that the Joey Ryan stuff's stupid. I laughed at All In with the whole, like, people dressed up as giant dicks, like the inflatable dick thing and stuff like that, but that's not the clip that I would be showing people if they were like, why do you watch wrestling? It wouldn't be some indie thing of Joey Ryan's dick move. And I would feel really embarrassed to show somebody the clip of Priscilla Kelly and say, like, this is my job, is I write about stuff like this that happens. Just the same, for that matter, as when I see, like, backyard wrestling stuff and people are, like, hitting each other over the head with staple guns and, you know, different things like that. It's just, I saw a clip somewhat recently of a guy lighting his head on fire to jump off of the top rope.
I love that so much. Oh God.
It's like, what the fuck are you thinking and all this? And it's, I don't buy into the whole idea of like, well, it's indie wrestling, you do whatever to get a pop. Do you?
I don't buy into the idea that it's wrestling and it's okay to do that kind of stuff. Let me be perfectly clear. I laughed at the initial Joey Ryan, I'm in Japan. Japanese people have a certain stereotype, so when they grab onto my penis, it's too big for them. I thought that was hilarious. When it became his only bit, you know, it got watered down for me. I don't like stuff like that. With this, I legitimately was I was repulsed, and then I was like, immediately drew the comparison to Joey Ryan. And I can see why people would say that. And I think Joey Ryan shot back at Road Dogg saying, well, you showed placenta on TV for Mae Young's hand. How is that any different? Yes, but that was 21 years ago as of this moment. And
also gross.
And also gross. Like just because it was more mainstream doesn't make it any better. It's still gross. It's still dumb. You know, like I don't know. I kind of just want wrestling to be, you know, wrestling.
And let me clarify something too. Excuse me. In case anybody tries to make this point being like this isn't some kind of statement of like, well, it's a woman's body and that's gross or something like that. It's like, no, I mean, I think all bodies, male or female, are gross in certain ways. Like, I don't want certain shit jokes. Like, shitting to me is like, if I had my ability to, like, you know, never take a shit again in my entire life and not have any kind of health problems and stuff, I totally would. Taking a shit's gross. And when you've got like piss humor, like the Drake Maverick thing, like I thought it was stupid. And it doesn't get a laugh out of me. I think it's gross out humor. Gross out humor doesn't typically get a good response from me, whether it's in movies or TV shows or even just like, if I'm going to watch a YouTube compilation of like funny clips, what's going to make me laugh is going to be some really dumb things like, I don't know. I watched a clip somewhat recently that Caroline had sent to me, not even realizing that it would make me laugh as much as it did, where it was just like this piece of toast flying out of a toaster and landing onto the floor where somebody had a plate on the floor ready for that piece of toast, knowing that it would fling that way. And I laughed until I had tears in my eyes. It's dumb as all hell. It makes no sense. And I thought it was fucking hilarious. And then I can watch, I don't know how many things of like, you know, oh, big fat person fell over. And I'm just sort of like, yeah, that doesn't do anything for me. Like, there's a certain level of, you know, you play up to your likes and your dislikes, what gets reactions out of you and stuff like that. I think that this is gross, and I think that anything that's kind of like that is kind of gross. Like, I wouldn't...
Bodily fluids are gross.
Yeah, so like that's like, you know, vomiting is... I don't want to watch anybody throw up. You know, I have a video of it on my fucking YouTube page of my friends throwing up and stuff. I'm gagging the whole time I'm fucking watching it and recording it and stuff, but you know, it's just it's not some kind of grander statement to anything. It's just sort of like, yeah, this is gross. Shouldn't have done it. Like, that's kind of how I look at things.
Yeah, but you know what I'll say? I'm glad Priscilla Kelly might have more eyes on her. You know, and I hope that she does make it to a bigger stage because she's good. At the end of the day, she's good. That was an underground show, and I don't mean that in like a Jim Cornette. It's an outlaw mud show. I don't mean it like that. I mean it was clearly some seedy underground wrestling that was meant to have that kind of a vibe because they had that kind of a spot. So, good for her for attracting attention. Good for her for donating some of the proceeds to charity. Good. But
And it's also
gross.
something too, like that. Yeah, I had said at the beginning of this, like, I don't know if she's gonna ever go into WWE. I'm also not of that type that says like you can never forgive anybody for stupid things and stuff like that. Like, if WWE in particular finds this super gross, and they might not, Vince might think it's the most fucking hilarious thing in the world. Even if they did think that it would be like, well, we don't want to, sign her anytime in the future. At some point, you gotta let bygones be bygones and stuff. And it's like one thing that could be upsetting or whatever like that. It takes a lot for something to be unforgivable. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
I don't know. Let's talk about. Well, you know what? Let's switch over things up a little bit now. Let's talk about some things from the WWE Network to catch up a little bit on, because they had released a bunch of different content on the whole New Year's type of stretch, and we didn't get really much of a chance to talk about them. Some of them we're going to just breeze past, but the different specials that I was actually able to keep track of were the New Day Pancake Powered Super or Mega Ultra, whatever the fuck they called that thing. New Year's Spectacular, which I flipped through and shut off. Did you check that out?
I did not, because I know what it was. It was a year in review, and I didn't need to see it.
Yeah, I watched all that shit during the year. I didn't need to watch anything else. They had Fashion Files Cold Case Unit, which in theory I liked, although I didn't really love the episode in particular. I hope it's an ongoing thing, and I hope that they keep this idea going. But they need to tweak a couple things here and there.
I know I'll probably catch a lot of flack for this. I just want Tyler Breeze to be Tyler Breeze. The Fashion Files were fun at first, but it clearly developed into this thing that became less than.
Yeah.
I just want Tyler Breeze to be Prince Pretty and have a little bit of fun.
What do you think about the idea behind it? Because I like the idea of them making fun of, like, here are mysteries that we never got solved. Actually, that's one of the ideas that I wanted to do for Smart Guy Moment. So, I know I can't call it Cold Case Unit.
I do like that because there's plenty of stories in wrestling lore and in just, like, if you follow storylines, we know that sometimes things don't always get resolved. Things just fall off. So,
yeah, like who was responsible for the McMahon's Millions thing? Who tried to blow up Vince?
Wait, did they never? That was just a faulty production error. They never bothered to it was Batista.
I don't think that they ever did.
That's crazy.
They never did anything as far as the limo thing because of the whole Chris Benoit situation right afterwards. So, of course, that makes a lot of sense, but I don't think we ever got confirmation of, like, different mystery people over the years that were supposed to be, like, I mean, we got the whole, like, Hornswoggle was Vince McMahon's son, but not really type of thing, and, like, some different things like that and stuff, but there's a lot of things that they combine.
The anonymous GM. Do you remember the one, Raven had, like, this ninja chick? Do you remember that? That was, like, in 2000, 2001?
Nope. Not ringing a bell. A ninja?
Yeah, it was supposed to be Tori, not Tori Wilson, but like D-Generation X Tori. Yeah. And that was an interesting mystery story. The fake Kane, which was one of my favorite stories of all time, which was supposed to be Gallows. And he was actually going to be revealed to be the real Kane, and the real Kane was going to be revealed to be fake. It was going to be interesting, but nothing ever came of it.
Real quick side note, I actually listened to the whole discussion from Something to Wrestle about that fake Undertaker thing, and rumors that they were like going to try to have some kind of a tag team or something, which would have been really ridiculous, that it would have been like the fake Undertaker and the real Undertaker in a tag team or whatever. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you can mine from. So if they do the Fashion Files Cold Case unit again, I'm cool with that. I just kind of want them to maybe punch up some of the jokes a little bit. We had Xavier's Arcade Challenge, which was him playing a couple games against a couple of different people. I wasn't a really big fan of it. What about you?
I like the concept. I want to see a few more episodes to make a true decision because I love Up Up Down Down, but I also know this is a WWE produced Up Up Down Down, which is gonna muddy the waters a little bit.
Yeah. Plus, it's just sort of, they weren't necessarily playing a whole lot of things that I was super interested in.
Not a fan of NBA Jam.
It's all right.
He's on fire.
Now, if they would have been playing NFL Blitz, I probably would have gotten a little bit more into it.
I love NFL Blitz so much.
And this is a real random side thing, because I'm not an NFL guy, but I had on the Golden Globes last night. I was doing coverage for that for Fanboys Anonymous. Go ahead and check out fanboysanonymous.com if you want to know who won the Golden Globes. But before that, there was a game between the Chicago Bears and the Philadelphia Eagles. And that fucking ended that game. That was fucking hilarious.
Did you see the mascot's reaction?
No, I didn't check the mascots out. I checked the coach, I think it was, where he was just like, this look on his face was just kind of like, I hate my life.
The mascot just dropped to the floor in such great disappointment.
Oh, man.
That
guy. Kick, though, was just doink, doink. And the commentators are all like, oh, again. So, man.
Poor guy.
I feel bad for that guy. What else we have here? We have the Botch Club, which is WWE's very, 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 very tame and lame answer to Botchamania several years past when Botchamania started to gain some notoriety. I really loved Matthew's response where he just posted that thing from The Simpsons where he's like, well, that's the end of me. I mean, I will watch it, but it's not Botchamania. Like, when they produce these things and they edit things down and they try to make it like, we're going to tell some jokes about the things itself, it's like, what's funny is that you let it just be the way that it is. Like, one of my favorite things in Botchamania, let's put it this way. I don't watch Botchamania all the time for just the interest of, like, I don't have a whole lot of time and everything like that. But when I do, I tend to skip a lot of the indie stuff because it's like, how many times can I really watch two people that I don't know, like, slip in the ring or something like that? But I love, for instance, the Everybody Talks Too Much section. And you're not going to have that on Botch Club. They're not going to show you people saying in the ring, like, hey, give me a choke slam over around the corner. And, like, they're not going to do that. They're going to do more of the whole, like, Titus O'Neil slipped, huh? And it's sort of like, yeah, I know he slipped. And I gave that, like, the worst botch of the year and all that kind of stuff. But, like, give me the more inside botches. Give me, like, the clip of Sid saying, I want to do this over again. And JR saying, we're live, pal. Yeah, that kind of stuff. It's not the same.
I will say I laughed at them laughing at Gallows trying out for Tough Enough.
Oh, that was funny, yeah. And that's some footage that we might not necessarily have, so give us more of the footage we don't have, too. That's the other thing.
Yeah, give us, like, random takeouts from 1989 of Vince McMahon on a green screen. Like, dumb shit.
Give us the crap that you filmed with the Ultimate Warrior that you thought was way too crazy to be able to put out there, and let's try to decipher what the hell he's talking about. Do stuff like that, and that could be a lot of fun. And I don't know if this was a one-off, or if this is something that they actually want to continue. Like, maybe this was just kind of like, let's do a test run, see if people are interested, and maybe we'll make it a series. But if it's a series, kind of speaks a little bit to the idea that the Good Brothers might not be leaving WWE.
I don't think they're leaving anytime soon. I don't see a reason for them to. Yeah, they have AEW now, which provides an American alternative, which, by the way, is a great thing, and we'll talk about it in a little bit. But I don't see Gallows and Anderson leaving. They haven't even done many things in WWE yet. They can still do a lot more.
Also, their connection with AEW isn't as strong as it would be if it were some other people running it. If that was AJ Styles' promotion, or if Finn Balor was running it, I think it'd be a stronger shot. But, like, they don't really have a connection with Cody all that much, you know? As far as I'm aware.
With the Bucks.
The Bucks, yeah. And Kenny Omega. But, like, kind of get the feeling that AJ's kind of their sort of main guy with Finn. And, you know, if they stay in WWE, then it's like, you know, they'll probably stay around too. But Botch Club, at the very least, it's something that they were trying out. So it goes to show that they're willing to play around. Which is a good sign if you want to keep them in WWE. We also had the Kitchen SmackDown. That's Bo Dallas hosting like a kitchen cooking competition between, it was what, Curtis Axel, Alicia Fox, and Dana Brooke, I think.
Something like that. I know Dana was there. I know Curtis was there, and Mark Henry was the judge.
Henry was the judge. Noelle Foley was the judge, and I can't remember who the other person was because it wasn't like a wrestling person. It's like, I don't know, some NBA guy or something like that. This is somebody in WWE was like, how about we do Top Chef, or how about we do Chopped?
Kitchen.
You know,
let's do Kitchen Nightmares, guys.
Yeah, and it's like, I like some of those kind of shows every once in a while, but it's not really a WWE type thing, so I don't really see much of a future when it comes to that. And the title to Kitchen SmackDown, you couldn't think of anything better than that?
I like that they used the original SmackDown logo, but they changed it to Kitchen, and I think it was a spatula instead of an exclamation point.
I think so.
That I liked.
Yeah.
What do you think overall about the idea of using these guys like the Good Brothers and Bo Dallas and Breezango as hosts? You know, we're not doing anything with them. Let's make them hosts.
Cool, why not?
Fair enough.
Kind of speaks to them being not really all that useful elsewhere, for them to just be like, well, let's put you in this other kind of role. But hey, they're doing something, you know? Slater's got Game Night. R-Truth had something that he was working on, but I don't remember what the hell that was. Was that the prank show or something?
Yeah, Swerved.
No, I think there was another thing. What was the fucking R-Truth one? It wasn't like an interview show. It was something like kind of silly or whatever. Let's see. R-Truth WWE Network pilot. Oh, he was trying to do a game show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's these reports are May 9th, 2017, that he was trying to do some kind of a game show, which might have been more of like, instead of like game night, it might have been more of like you know, like let's host like a Jeopardy type of thing or something like that, which I still think would be a kind of cool idea if they did something like that. Like if they had like a trivia show, I'd be cool with that.
I'll tell you right now, I think that WWE, since they don't even bother to hide the fact that they're entertainment and all that, just have a bunch of variety shows on your network. You know what I mean? Why not have a R-Truth game show or Jimmy Hart's Behind the Music?
Why do they not have a behind the music thing? That should have been one of their go-to options when they were building the network. It should have been, let's have CFO Money and Jim Johnston sit down, do a bunch of different interviews where they just break down, like, this was the inspiration of the Undertaker's theme. Yes, I took the Razor Ramon theme and just copied that essentially for Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is the difference between them. Like, that would have been such a fucking good show. And it still could be with CFO Money, but it just wouldn't be the same because it's like, you know, the older ones are the ones that we're going to have the nostalgia kick to. That should be a guarantee one. How is there also not a show about injuries and surgeries? People love that stuff.
Because they don't want to go into that side of their industry?
To me, I think that should be one of those given ones. You should just have, like, you know, let's film the surgery and let's have some kind of like a medical show where we have like a doctor talk about, like, yeah, this is the ligament that was torn and like these are the, you know, whatever like that. I wouldn't love it because I don't love those kind of shows, but hey, I'm not, you know, marketing towards just Tony. I'm marketing towards everybody, you know?
I know there was a poll a while ago that was like, What shows would you want to see on the network? Divas, Heels on Wheels. And that's how long ago it was that they were actually still called Divas. But one of the shows was Steve Blackman Bounty Hunter. And to me,
That's
the
ridiculous.
concept of Steve Blackman as a shoot bounty hunter is so fucking funny.
Oh man, yeah. Like, fuck it, do it. You know. You know what? For that matter, look at every type of reality show and every type of like, not necessarily reality show, but like those. Is there like a term for like those job type shows? Like the Dirty Work, whatever that show is, and like the ones where it's like, my job is that I don't know, I do some weird like morgue type shit, and then it's like, morgue buddies, or like, whatever, or like the pawn shop one, or like, is there like a term for those kind of shows?
Well, looking specifically under the pawn shop banner, and
American Pickers, I think, was the name of one show.
yeah, they're just different branches of reality TV. Like that's an antique reality show, and the Odd Jobs one is like uh an occupational related show. So it's
Yeah,
all
like
offshoots of reality.
those kind of things, there obviously is a market for that, because there's like entire stations dedicated to those types of things and people that love to watch like anything of those kind of stuff. So why not just tap into the market that you have there? We talked about the music thing. Why not do something about the costumes in WWE and follow the fashion people that are like, Mikaze, and talk about like, yeah, this was like what we were going for when we were trying to make some kind of an outfit for Bray Wyatt or whatever. Like that, they could do this kind of shit. It's not that fucking hard to think of. Like, come on.
You know what though? I would want it in a documentary type of setting, because I think if you go the TV show setting, then you start making problems to increase intrigue. But I will say that
you can't do the scripted Total Divas type of thing.
Exactly. I will say though, Glam Squad, the makeup department, people love them. They have a nice following on social media. Give them a show. Do a show where you're following legends in their real life jobs now. Like Tio Santana's a barber.
Yeah, where are they now type of show.
Do that. And not just like, they do little 5-minute blurbs on the website sometimes, but give them a whole show.
Yeah, just like a 30-minute special for each person or something. And it's just, this person, Rick Steiner's a teacher, right? He's like on like a board of education somewhere, I think.
I didn't
That's
know
like,
that.
follow him around for a little bit and just be like, what happened to Rick Steiner? Is he still barking and shit? And then just gonna be like, no, he's barking at students and like this kind of thing and stuff. Like Tito Santana, he's got his stuff going on. You've got like, and you can do like, it doesn't have to be stuff that's scripted. It doesn't have to be stuff that's like, what's the heart-wrenching angle behind this? You don't need that kind of stuff. People that have the WWE network are either watching this shit or they aren't. That's just the way that it is. If you are willing to spend $10 a month on having access to this, you're the type of person who either goes, yeah, I'm going to check out the pay-per-views, and it's a lot cheaper to do that than it is to spend, $60 for a pay-per-view. Or you're somebody like you and I, where it's like, all right, yeah, you're going to put out a thing called Botch Club, I'm going to watch it. You're going to put out a thing called, like, top 10 moments of the ring lighting people. Yeah, I'm going to watch the ring lighting thing. Like, it's just, do something for the backstage people, too. Like, the 1 hour special about, like, what it's like to be the ring crew.
That'd be cool.
And I don't personally care about, like, the specifics behind the lighting patterns, and to be like, because I was involved in theater in school, but I was in the acting side of things. I wasn't like theater production. So when people are like, you put this gel cap over this thing, it's like, oh God, I'm going to fall asleep. But some people out there fucking love that stuff. So, give people things of what they like. Try things out. It can't be that hard to, film that kind of stuff. It's just sit people down in front of a camera and then pay an editor,
And you know what? I would go even further to say, I know they've got the footage of not only their own company, but the ones that they bought out. Every now and again, release behind the scenes of Bash at the Beach 96. I know if footage exists that you own it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like they had to be filming some stuff for at least big days. Like they did with the WWE 24. Track down everybody at WrestleMania and you've got pictures of like No Way Jose doing some kind of a thing or something like that. Or like, here's The Undertaker backstage getting a shot in his knee because he needs to be able to feel it. Or what, like, I want to see this kind of stuff. Don't just give me like, well, the brand new show that we have is going to be like Music Power 10. Like, I don't care, Now we also have Edge and Christian's show, the Totally Reeks of Awesomeness, which I have been crapping on quite a bit this season. Although I'll have to say, I actually like both of these episodes that we're going to talk about. One being Fabe and the other one being Bang Bang. I didn't like everything, so, you're going to hear a little bit of nitpicking, but let's start with Fabe here. That was, they started out with, will they talk about CM Punk? Nope. Can I answer that question?
Okay.
They did the kayfabe thing. To be honest, I didn't really love the kayfabe part. Like the joke kind of lasted about 30 seconds, and then it kind of just kept going for me. How did you feel about that?
So here's the thing. I like them more when they're doing skits, like the Kill Bill one we're going to talk about, and I like Total Divos. Like, that works for me. The inside stuff, when they're like trying to take jabs at the internet crowd, it either hits or it misses. This season hasn't been too many hits, but I have liked the sketches. I've liked like I said, the Kill Bill one and the Total Divos. The Total Divos, I thought, was one of the funniest things I've ever seen, because I'm sure that at some point in at least Edge and Christian's career, the Divas division was like that.
See, I didn't love the Total Divos thing. I liked it better than the Cruise. Although I did like that they did the little reference to Vladimir the Superfan, because it's like, that's just kind of the original, hey, that dude keeps popping up in the crowd a lot type guy. There's Vladimir, there's, pretty sure his name was Vladimir. And he was like this legend that I remember, like my buddy had the box set of all 12 WrestleManias at that time. Cause it's like, all 12 WrestleManias. Now we're at fucking 35. And, like I remember going through and being like, man, can we spot Vladimir? Like, yeah, he's got the purple, tank top on in this shot. Like that kind of a thing. There's Vladimir, there's the sign guy, there's Simon, I think is his name, the dude that we keep calling Tall Lisa. And so like when they do a little reference to Vladimir, I'm like, oh, it's funny, but then like the whole Cruise thing kind of went on a little bit too long. I did like though the hotline joke with Cole and the Miz, and Cole talking about like, which reality star is about to be fired or whatever. And he's just like, what? Yeah. But that was pretty funny.
Yeah, like, they're good at what they do. But I think the first season might have been a little more them, and this season might be a little more production. I could be wrong. That's just my personal opinion.
I got a feeling it's kind of the same as a lot of different humor, where sometimes you watch a movie and you can laugh at every joke. Like, I still, to this day, my favorite comedy of all time is Robin Hood Men in Tights. And it doesn't matter how many times I watch that movie, when something happens like the Little John fight, I still fucking giggle. Same thing with Not Another Teen Movie. Same thing with Naked Gun. But then there's other movies that, you get a couple chuckles here and there, and it's like, well, the same people wrote it, so, Chump's Teen Challenge for that one was face mashing the different couples together. I did pretty well on that, so I was proud of myself. For that matter, I did really well. I got all of them right on the other one, for the Bang Bang one, which was the knee pads. Did you get all those?
No.
Who'd you miss out on?
Fuck, hold on a second.
There was Ryder, Hogan, Sheamus.
No.
Drawing a blank on some of the other ones.
I definitely got those three because, those are easy for me.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on the other ones. You might have just watched it not that long ago.
Was Rock one of them?
Yeah, Rocky Maivia.
Yeah.
You missed out on that one?
Yeah.
See, I had the toy back in the day, so.
Well, I did too, but you don't think, when you think of those stupid tribal designs, you don't think that's the fucking Rock.
That would have been good though if they would have picked people that would have been nobody would have guessed it. One of my go-to people, the name is always Bam Neely. Nobody would ever fucking guess Bam Neely for anything, except for me apparently. Where they just go who's this one, and it's it's Aldo Montoya. Just that'd be kind of funny. For that matter though, the Bang Bang episode, didn't really love the boogeyman thing at the beginning, but I did like the punchline of the whole thing, which was, what's the scary thing that you can have going on? Well, you're going to have to watch the best of the great Khali. Yeah, he sucked.
Yeah. Poor
I'm
guy.
pretty sure that Khali is still listed on the About page for Smark Out Moment. When I made it up, I had put a little notice on there saying, just because I'm criticizing doesn't mean I think I can do anything better. Even great Khali is a better wrestler than I am. And I'm pretty sure I just kept that there after all these years. It's been 9 years and I've kept that up.
But is he though, Tony? Is he?
Well, let's put it this way. I have asthma and I got a bad back. So, no, I'm still better. They also had a thing, Tommy Ball. I wasn't the biggest fan of that one, admittedly.
They really like making poor Tommy Dreamer, making fun of that poor old bastard.
And having him be
he's
naked.
Not even that old, is he?
44, he said in the one spot.
Yeah.
I don't know if he actually is 44 or not, but
No,
yeah, wasn't the biggest fan of that one. I liked, to a certain extent, the Hulkamania workout set with Drew McIntyre. It was just, it kind of took me by surprise because it was just hey, you look like you're a teenager. Your grip's probably great. But the line of the whole thing for that I really, really liked, which is just somebody must have really thought this was funny, and I'm glad that they added it in there, which is just, wow, you really do have a thick accent. It's
yeah,
so stupid, and I laughed at that one quite a bit.
I've told you the story. The one Drew McIntyre memory that I will keep with me forever was at an indie show, and he was talking to one of the girls in the car, and he goes, "Yeah, everything I say is Scottish. I know." It's and whenever I hear him talk, the only phrase that goes through my mind is, "Yeah, everything I say is Scottish."
Obviously, the standout for this was the Kill Bill parody, and
and good on Beth.
Have you seen Kill Bill 1 and 2?
I watched 1 several times. I've never been able to fully make it through 2.
Is that because you don't like it, or just one of those things?
Yeah, it's just one of those things. It never hooked me as much as the first one did.
I could see why. The first one's kind of, arguably, I think, maybe a better movie.
And the first one was the first Tarantino massacre film I've ever seen.
See, Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction are 2 of my absolute favorite movies of all time. So when Kill Bill was coming out, I was just I have to fucking see this. And I like them. I don't own either of them, but that's mostly because it's just never been on my list of being I have to own this. And then now it's I don't buy any Blu-rays or DVDs because what's the fucking point? I got Plex. That's all that matters. But like Kill Bill. Now I want to rewatch Kill Bill. Like, this made me really want to watch them again, and I liked a lot of the jokes that they had going on here. They had the whole she wasn't Black Mamba in the movie, because I know she would make the joke that she should have been Black Mamba. I think she was maybe.
What was it?
Let me look it up, because it's gonna bug me so much. The Vivica A. Fox character, whatever her.
It's the first one she kills.
Yeah, I can't remember the fucking snake that she had in that. She was Copperhead. Okay. So
yeah, and by the way, both movies are on Netflix.
Nice. So there you go. I'll probably have to put that on later. Actually, I was planning on watching the '93 Royal Rumble later, so I'll probably do that instead. Ooh. But you got Vivica A. Fox, and you turned that into Alicia Fox, A. Fox, and it's like, that already alone speaks volumes to that they paid attention, and that's like, wow, you know what? That's really great that they could do that. And instead of Copperhead, because they go with, something WWE related, she's Captain Batshit, which is like, all right, yeah, her character's kind of crazy and stuff, so I'm cool with this. They do the reference to, Tommy Dreamer popping up in there. Instead of having the Sonny Chiba, I think is who it was. Sonny Chiba? Yeah, Sonny Chiba was Hattori Hanzo. They've got Funaki, and he is Kendo Nagasaki, the master of the finger poke of doom, indeed. I really laughed at the idea that it was like, do you speak Japanese? And in the movie, of course, if you haven't seen the movie, spoilers a little bit for certain things, the idea behind, like, do you speak Japanese? And, you say arigato, like we say arigato. And instead, Beth's just like, I speak a little Japanese. Asuka. Oh, Asuka, very good, very good. That was fucking funny. Kairi Sane's a hot go-go. So yeah. That's cool. I fucking lost it at Mr. Fuji's racist salt. It was in the 70s. We didn't know any better. That got me. Billy Gunn being, Kill Billy and the finger poke of doom instead of being the 5-point exploding palm heart technique or whatever it was called in the movie. Like, this was very well done with, like, just, I got a feeling out of this that Edge and Beth probably really fucking love Kill Bill. And we're just like, let's do Kill Bill parody. Let's have Xavier Woods be the Samuel L. Jackson character. Let's have, like, a kendo stick being played by Tommy Dreamer instead of like a pan flute or whatever it was that Pai Mei had. Like, I thought that this was fantastic. This had to have been my favorite thing that they did this whole season so far.
Yeah, and Kill Bill is a fantastic movie. I'm actually skimming through a lot of the fight scenes as we're doing this. One of the best movies that I've ever seen. This segment on this show was great. Like you said, I think Beth and Edge are real fans of this movie and probably more Tarantino movies. I can see them being into that kind of thing. And I want more segments like this and just more stuff like this on the network as a whole. It's fun, it's laid back, and you get the feeling like they're all really like this. Like, they're all fucking goofballs like this.
Yeah, and that just also kind of made me think their production value was a lot higher on certain things, and it's like, man, they actually made, like, they went out of their way to do, like, title changes and different things for certain things, and maybe apply that to some of the other things that they got going on. Or maybe this was what they blew the budget on, I don't know. I would recommend, as far as backtracking and doing all this, we have an hour-long hot tags already, but, it's 3 editions in a row, kind of. I would personally say skip the Pancake Power whatever thing, skip the Arcade Challenge, and watch probably all the other ones. Even the Kitchen Smackdown.
Yeah, it can't hurt. I mean, if you got the time to kill,
kill that time and Bill.
Yeah, Kill Billy.
Now let's get into a big thing here. All Elite Wrestling. We got confirmation. It is All Elite Wrestling. They are doing Double or Nothing is their next event. It is going to be in April. There's no set time.
That's not confirmed yet.
Oh, it isn't? I thought April was confirmed, but no date was.
No. So what we know is that they're holding a rally tomorrow, or today now, at 5 p.m. in Jacksonville to kind of give you more details on Double or Nothing and this venture as a whole. So this reportedly has $100 million in backing from Tony Khan, the Khan family owning the Jacksonville Jaguars.
What a con artist.
We know that Cody Rhodes will be the executive vice president and executive producer. The Young Bucks will be vice presidents, as well as the bookers.
Lesson number 1. Plan out how long your show is going to be so you don't have to cut your match short.
I'm sure, honest to God, it was.
Well, you know what, though? That's their first show. Like, you can't blame them on that kind of thing.
And then Brandy Rhodes is going to be the chief branding officer. Now, if you're one of those people who thinks that this is all competition for WWE, the one thing that stands out to me is that Brandy is a woman. She's the chief branding officer. Stephanie McMahon is also the chief branding officer of WWE. I think that's a great counterpart. And also, Brandy happens to have the degrees and the knowledge and experience to back all of this up. I am excited.
It's literally in her name, Brand.
Yeah, she's even calling herself the chief brandy officer.
Yeah, like, I mean, if she wouldn't, I would be disappointed. That's what I would be like. If I were Cody Rhodes, I'd be like, yeah, this is a mandate. You have to do this. I'm sorry, sweetie.
There's a lot of shit going on here, man. Not the Young Bucks. SoCal Uncensored, Frankie Kazarian, Christopher Daniels, and Scorpio Sky.
They're all signed.
They're all signed. Britt Baker, the girlfriend of Adam Cole, has signed.
That I was kind of shocked about that one because I thought that Britt Baker was trying to work her way into NXT.
I think she was as well, but maybe people feel like, hey, why not, make your move in this new company? Now, we don't know. Listen, this could be just a special event company who just do things like All In and Double or Nothing. This could be something where tomorrow night they announce that they've got a TV deal. We know that they've been talking to, of all places, TNT and TBS. Time Warner Cable. Or Time Warner, I should say.
I'm assuming with that backing, they've got some kind of a TV deal, and that they're trying to aim for Tuesday nights to replace SmackDown. Of course, we don't know. And by the time that this comes up, it's going to be closer to the time that, people are going to start getting some information and all that other kind of stuff, too. And people probably aren't even going to listen to this until close to when that whole Double or Nothing thing happens anyway. So keep that in mind, everybody, that we're not privy to this information yet. But I would assume that they're working for that. I've seen a lot of reports that say that these deals that they're giving people are actually like comparable to WWE deals, and that they're exclusive deals, so you wouldn't be working anywhere else.
Which I love. Now, we've talked about this before. I love the idea of exclusive deals because I think one of the biggest issues has been that these people just, there's no difference between the RH roster and the MLW roster, you know what I mean? And that's hyperbole. I don't mean that literally, but I'm just giving two major promotions. A lot of these promotions share talent, and I think that waters down the talent. I think if you have exclusive rosters, it makes your brand more exciting. It makes the need for talent greater, which means new wrestlers get a chance. I think this is so exciting. Where I get a little concerned is this needs to be a major thing. I would go as far as to say they almost need to have at least a pay-per-view every other month and a TV deal, because it has to feel different than Impact Wrestling, Ring of
Yeah.
Honor. And that's a lot to ask of the guys, but it also needs to feel special. And then you get into the fucking wacky shit, man. Let's talk about really TNT. And by the way, they have a trademark filed for Tuesday Night Dynamite.
Yeah,
And
which kind of strikes me a little bit like
Monday Night Nitro.
Yeah.
And no, the thing is, first of all, Tuesday Night Dynamite on TNT sounds awesome.
I mean, it
But-
works, TNT, like Dynamite,
But then you just go, and then, rumored Goldberg is involved.
That I don't buy into at all. I don't think Goldberg's got anything to do with this. I think
hope not.
he, because like, what is he going to do? Is he going to be a booker? He doesn't like wrestling,
he could fucking come in and spear a guy or two.
I think he followed that maybe because, let's put it this way, it wouldn't shock me at all if Goldberg popped up and he did something like, maybe Cody has some kind of a connection with Goldberg through the whole Dusty Rhodes type thing where it's like, hey, Bill, can you be one of these guys that you cut a promo on like our opening show and goes like, oh man, I can't wait to see what happens here with All Elite Wrestling. Like that to me would be like it. Like I can't see him like wrestling or being some backstage guy that's like planning things out because he's not connected to the current modern stuff.
Well, on top of that, then you have the Jericho thing.
Jericho, that's a different story.
Now, Jericho has been very closely associated with the Elite in recent months.
Mm-hmm.
They did the Jericho Cruise together. That's where they actually announced that they were no longer in the Bullet Club and that they were the Elite. Jericho's graphic designer has a countdown clock running on social media, and he posts updates frequently. The countdown clock is set to expire on February 1st, and it's widely believed that it's something to do with Jericho being in AEW. Now, I don't know, like it's weird because you don't want to make all these grand suggestions and then nothing comes of it. But at the same time, has it been this exciting to be a fan in the last 20 years?
I'll put it this way. Out of all the stop, start, reboot, we're going to change everything, this is going to be the solution type nonsense that we've gotten with Impact, I got really desensitized to the idea of new companies. And even when it came to like the NWA and the whole thing with Billy Corgan, like we talked about it here and there, and I was like, this could be something or whatever like that. But at the bottom of my heart, I was sitting there going, this isn't really gonna fucking matter. This is the first time I actually feel like maybe there's gonna be something to this. And I always talk about merging stuff, but like New Japan's losing people, and Ring of Honor, they're doing pretty well in certain ways, and they're signing some different people here and there. And a buddy of mine from OTW is in Future of Honor now, Brian Johnson.
Oh, good.
Great guy, good talent in the ring too. So really glad to see that happen. He is like one of those types of guys that like, I was glad to see that he would go to a place like a Ring of Honor instead of being like, man, I really wish I could go to Impact, because it just seems like it wouldn't go anywhere. And it wouldn't shock me at all if AEW, even if they only do something like they have 4 shows a year, they have one in April, say. They have one in July. They have one in November, and they do one at the beginning of next year. If they do 4 a year and they have a TV show, I think they're going to do pretty damn well. And it wouldn't shock me at all if you see more people from Impact and more people from Ring of Honor and Major League Wrestling and generic indies and just elsewhere flocking to them.
Well, now we could talk about this because we're Spark Out moment, and we're fun here. There is a page on Twitter, Phoenix NJPW, and she said, according to Meltzer, All In, Double or Nothing, May 25th, Vegas. Now, that makes perfect sense. If you look at the logo for Double or Nothing, it's very much based on gambling and Vegas.
Yeah.
They do follow the T-Mobile Arena on Twitter. We will know more tomorrow for sure. But how fucking crazy is that for us? You get through WrestleMania and you think, huh, I'm gonna breathe. And no, here comes Double or Nothing.
And probably around that time we'll get Backlash too. If not a second other thing, because last year, remember they did the whole thing where it was like
Greatest Royal Rumble.
We went through WrestleMania, and then let's hit you with the Superstar Shakeup and Backlash and Greatest Royal Rumble, and then Extreme Rules, I think.
So, on our side of things, we're not breathing until maybe July? Because June's Money in the Bank. And, wow, what a crazy time it is.
Not looking forward to some of it, but I'm really looking forward to some other parts of it. That's the thing. And for all we know, tomorrow when they do that kind of press conference thing, or actually in like 13 hours or whatever it is, then it could be the type of thing where it all falls flat. It could be like, All Elite Wrestling, Double or Nothing. We're going to have a cash for gold type of thing, like fucking Jeff Jarrett, And it could just be like, wow, we were giving these people too much credit. I don't think so. I think that it's going to be pretty much like slightly similar to the XFL press conference, but without like that bitter attitude,
Oh, yes. I think these guys are excited. I think Tony Khan is excited. I think if you're a wrestling fan, how the fuck are you not excited? Like, I equate pro wrestling and video games together a lot, and both were really driven by wars in the 90s. You hear a lot about the console wars, and just now, consoles are starting to get back into the idea of having some exclusives. And I think AEW is going to bring exclusives back to wrestling, which may create a bit of a competition, and I wouldn't call it a war because WWE is so far ahead. But there's a new, dog in town, and let's be real, WWE wasn't always the big dog. Vince took the NWA down slowly but surely. Not saying AEW is going to do this, but never rule it out. Never say never. And I'm excited for the future. Now,
you never really know what's going to happen. That's the thing. 20 years from now, we could be like, remember how All Elite Wrestling started out like that and ended up taking over? You never know.
Now, if Callum was here, because our generation has been so royally fucked, because we've been promised the revolution several times, Callum would say, don't get your hopes up. I'm not getting my hopes up because it could just be another TNA. But man, covering it so closely, it's impossible not to. This is so much fun.
If they have all right, our Double or Nothing rally, introducing Tito Ortiz, or something like that.
Introducing our new AEW commissioner, Dixie Carter. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck you.
But that does kind of bring up the idea that they probably have it in mind that they are going to announce certain things. And at this point, even though there's speculation that he might go to WWE, I think it's a guarantee Kenny Omega's going to AEW.
I think it's a guarantee Kenny Omega is with them tomorrow. And if he's not with them tomorrow, then I start going, let's keep an eye on that Royal Rumble.
Yeah, if he is not there at that conference, or they don't say something like, and he couldn't be here today, but one of our, elite brethren, Kenny Omega, he's going to be joining us too, or something like that. Like, if they don't specify that he's that, like, in that kind of thing, then you might as well just say, all right, what number is he in the Royal Rumble? Like, but he has announced that he's leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling. And for that matter, Kushida is as well, who I'm at least slightly familiar with now that I watch Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
So Kushida's going to WWE, according to most outlets. Kenny Omega, we've heard a lot of things that I don't think really have a whole lot of weight. One thing saying he was going to get something like, what was it, $3 million?
$3.5 million.
$3.5 million, which would put him like astronomically up there. Another thing saying that he would have creative control, which is like, give me a fucking break. They are not doing that. Like, they want Kenny Omega, I'm sure, but they would never sign off creative control. This is WWE we're talking about. They don't let interviewers end by saying back to you and not staring off into oblivion. You think they're going to give somebody creative control that hasn't been in the company before? Absolutely not.
I said this already. Unless your last name is McMahon or your working last name is Helmsley, you're not getting creative control.
And some people have some creative control, Undertaker's going to go up there and say, I don't want to fucking do that. I'm pretty sure Vince McMahon's going to listen to him to a certain extent. John Cena, to a certain extent, has a little bit of pull. Randy Orton, I'm sure, has a little bit of pull, so on and so forth. But you're not going to get, even like somebody like Kane's not going to be able to go, hey, I'm writing up this idea. I want to win the world title, and I need it to happen in 3 weeks. And they're not going to be like, yeah, okay. They're going to go, you fucking kidding me, Glenn? Like, So, yeah, he's not coming to WWE with creative control and $3.5 million. He could still come to WWE, but I'm really kind of just assuming he gets announced for AEW. And I really hate AEW as, like, that's the acronym, because it just doesn't roll off the tongue. All Elite, probably how I'm going to say it from the future now. They could have a lot of surprises. And we almost kind of waited to do this hot tags until after that, just to kind of cover that. But tomorrow's going to be kind of busy. I don't know what's happening and all that, so I didn't want to just, like, skip out and then do it like 7 days from now or something like that. So maybe I'll do a small package, or maybe we'll rip this into the hot tags next week or something. But Double or Nothing, definitely something to pay attention to. And not just for people that are into indie wrestling. People that are into just WWE, pay attention to Double or Nothing. You never know what's going to happen on that. Before we move on, any other thoughts you got on that thing?
A small prediction. We hear a lot about CM Punk. CM Punk does a lot in the commentary world. He was on Ultimate Beastmaster on Netflix. I really think this is a great chance to get CM Punk to do something in wrestling. Just be the color commentator for All Elite Wrestling. And I'm not saying it will happen or that there's speculation. I'm saying what I would want. Like, that would be such a huge get to say CM Punk back in wrestling,
And we got him.
Yeah.
I'd be cool with it. For that matter, AJ Lee would probably get involved somewhere along the line with, like, the women's division or something.
That would be very cool. I can't wait. So we'll know more tomorrow, and we'll know more. Hey, maybe, a guy like Jim Ross will actually be signing on. Because remember, when this all first broke, it was Jim Ross and Chris Jericho are talking to the Khan family about a promotion.
Right. It wasn't even Cody Rhodes is doing this kind of a thing. It's kind of more around those two. So maybe Jim Ross is going to be kind of one of these backstage guys that gives them, like, hey, I learned this from doing that kind of a job. Maybe he's going to be like the head talent scout or something. Or maybe he's going to be not involved at all. You never really know.
But if I'm AEW, I want Jim Ross involved. He's done everything from Mid-South territory to, Crockett territory to WCW itself. It's a WWF. In every capacity imaginable, he's done it. So I want him there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's an invaluable resource, for sure. Let's talk about Victoria, or Tara, whatever you want to call her. That's a real quick thing, though. She put something up on Instagram saying that she's planning on retiring this year. 2019 will be the last year that she is stepping in the ring. Which, that sucks. Because I was really kind of hoping that she would be doing something, like, popping up in WWE. Like, I really kind of am still trying to hold out a little bit of hope that maybe she's in the Royal Rumble, but she tweeted out, like, I'm looking for bookings and stuff. So, kind of killed my buzz as far as that was concerned. You think she's actually going to retire?
Yes. But I would not rule out that she's not taking bookings because she's going to go be a coach at the Performance Center. I'm not saying, again, not saying that's what's happening, just speculating. She's super underrated. Super underrated. And one of the best of an era when the women weren't supposed to be good.
Oh, it's not that they weren't supposed to be, it's just they weren't allowed to.
Well, but they weren't allowed to because they weren't supposed to be. They were there to be
eye candy, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's somebody that people don't tend to bring up a whole lot in that kind of discussion, and I really don't understand why, because she deserves more credit. I have a note about Impact Homecoming. I didn't watch it. I have no idea what the hell happened.
I watched it. I covered it for WrestleZone. So here's the main thing we need to talk about. Impact was moving to the Pursuit channel. A lot of people freaked the fuck out, including yours truly. I don't have the channel, in spite of the fact that I paid $300 for cable, and I was very upset. Well, last night they announced it will be simulcast to Twitch. Now there's two immediate mindsets. The first one being the reaction you had, where you just laugh and go, "Wow, we have fallen very far." Okay, but also, yay that we can see the show. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the "Wow, we have fallen very far."
Was there a thing on Twitch, because I'm not too familiar with it, that you have to like pay to get access? Because is that what they're doing, or is it just free?
Subscription, but it is free.
Huh. Well, I mean, it is new media to a certain extent. Like, you know, if that's going to keep them in business, and that's going to keep them afloat, then I don't fault them for it. But it does kind of make me feel a little bit like, why don't you just throw in the towel? If it's kind of just like, we're going to be on Twitch now. It's like, all right, well then if the Twitch thing follows through, are you just going to post things on YouTube? Because that's what I fucking do, you know? And I'm working with a negative budget here, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking for the official press release because it's funny. It really is.
I'm looking at a quick breakdown of the results here to see who I recognize and who I don't. Rich Swann defeated Ethan Page, who I don't know, Jake Christ, who I don't know, but I've heard the name before, and Trey Miguel, who I don't know, to win the X Division Championship. Allie and Sue Young, I know both of them, defeated Jordan Grace, who I think I know. Was she in the Mania Classic? No, she wasn't, right?
No, but she was at All In. I don't know if you watched the Battle Royale.
Yeah, that's right. So that's where I know her from. And Kira Hogan, who I don't think I know.
She's good. So here's the quote from the press release. Impact Wrestling's new broadcast arrangement on Pursuit Channel has given us the flexibility to develop distribution channels to bring our show to the cord cutters in our fan base.
Oh, no. Oh, they're fucking marketing it like that.
Yep.
The cord cutters, like they're trying. Oh, come on.
Hold on. We saw double-digit growth in our digital audience in 2018, consistently setting and then breaking new records for engagement across our various digital and social media assets. Now then, that is actually true. They did have a good year on social media in 2018. Hell, they had a good year overall in 2018. That doesn't take away the fact that your reactions tell the story. oh no, they're marketing it like that because, it's like really trying hard to spin a negative into a positive.
I fucking hate company speak. Like, that is something I guarantee you, everybody. If by some random chance, Smark Out Moment, Fanboys Anonymous, A Mango Tree, whatever the case may be, if I ended up coming into a butt ton of money and this was like some mega corporation type of thing or something like that, as like the CEO or whatever the fuck I would call myself, you will never hear the type of crap that comes out of people's mouths from my mouth, where it's like, well, we're really looking for some kind of synergy in with our strategies. We were trying to make a product that's for fans by fans, or any of this, and it's like, we're gonna market towards the cable cutters. You can say that in a non-press release, and I buy it. If you say it in a press release, I assume you had a handful of people that were like, we got to market to those cable cutters, the cord cutters. That's what we're going for. That's what kids are these days. Why don't we have a new event called Millennial Slam? Like, just stupid. And this is the same company that's Ultimate X everything. And
By the way, that if somebody said, Robert, you have creative control in TNA, first thing I'm doing, getting rid of the X Division title. And now I'm a kid who grew up watching TNA and loving the X Division, but it is not 2002. The letter X isn't cool anymore. Like, I'm getting rid of that belt.
Don't fault you for it. At the very least, it's like, at least can you figure out what the hell the X Division is, instead of just, it's a weight limit with no rules.
It's not
and Samoa Joe's the champion.
Listen, it's not about weight limits. It's about no limits. And it worked. Because in 2002, we weren't in the time that we're in now, where everybody's doing X Division moves. The X Division, Extreme, it worked. It worked in 2002. It even worked in 2008 and 2009. It doesn't work in 2019. And I would really rebrand that entire division.
So I'm seeing here, Ortiz and Santana are the Latin American exchange. Wasn't LAX Hernandez and I'm blanking on the other guy's name.
Homicide.
Homicide. I was gonna say Suicide, but that was the masked TJP. So they just like not LAX anymore? That they just kind of like.
So they were all. Conan restructured LAX, and he wanted to bring in young talent because new time. And these two guys, they're really good. They really are good, and they're carrying the LAX banner now. And I can forgive it because again, they're so good in the ring. But we'll see,
We have Taya Valkyrie, Tessa Blanchard, a couple names that I've heard here and there. Of course, Tessa Blanchard, I know. Brian Cage, a guy that I always thought that WWE would have looked at and been like, yes, sign him, Johnny Impact, I fucking hate that name. Sammy Callahan's still sticking around. Okay. So, I mean, this is a group of people that, like, I've heard these names for the most part out of the, I don't know, 20 or so names that are on this list, but didn't really do anything for me. Like, I didn't even know that Impact Homecoming was really happening. I didn't care, and I'm not going to watch it. That TNA Twitch thing, though. And the fact that we still call it TNA, that speaks volumes.
You know why we do? Because that rolls off the tongue. It's easy. It's TNA. It's not like, oh, Impact Wrestling and Impact. And the show is called TNA Impact. If you were going to rebrand it, you should have just come up with another acronym.
Impact Wrestling. Wait, you can't really go like IW, whatever.
Well, like, okay. They're owned by Anthem Wrestling Exhibitions. Why are you just fucking called Anthem Wrestling Exhibitions? Or Anthem Championship Wrestling, or Anthem.
If it was Anthem Wrestling Exhibition, it would be AWE, which is like, oh yeah, yeah. I'm in awe,
I'm in awe.
Yeah, why not? Anthem Wrestling Entertainment, even. I don't know. I have one more story written down here, and that's it. Which is that if you've been following, people are coming to the main roster. They keep telling you for like 5 weeks now, but they don't seem to be really coming all that much, except for Lacey Evans and EC3. They made their debut on main event. Really? Like, you're gonna bring these people in and you're gonna put them on fucking main event?
Maybe they were just dark matches. I don't know.
No, they were the main event tapings. And Lacey Evans lost.
In my head, somebody said, we have to get main event to be watched again. Put EC3 on there. And Lacey Evans, and she lost.
She tapped out to Natalya. And EC3 had a real big, grandiose debut of beating Kurt Hawkins, which is like...
That's fair.
The whole point is that beating Kurt Hawkins is easy because everybody does it. This is just such like you didn't fucking learn anything type of thing. Like the McMahons went out there and said, we know you guys are pissed at what we are doing. We promised that we are changing things up. For instance, we're going to bring these people onto the roster. And then they don't. And it's like the past couple episodes of Raw and SmackDown have been exactly the same as what the past episodes of Raw and SmackDown have been for years and stuff for the most part. There's nothing different. And it makes me laugh at the idea that so many people were kind of like, I really do think that we are getting a change. Clearly we aren't, because they had pitched this whole idea of Evans and EC3 and Nikki Cross and Heavy Machinery coming up to the main roster with Lars Sullivan, who they've been marketing since Survivor Series. And he still isn't there. And they still don't have anything for these people because they just threw him in the fucking main event. And one of them lost. Like, who in their right mind was like, I know what'll really get Lacey Evans a big push here. Let's put her on the show that we don't even put on our website as existing and have her lose. You don't need to be a goddamn rocket scientist, you know?
Well, I can't even remotely defend this. This is stupid.
It's just so dumb. Like, you couldn't have cut that stupid
Cable.
Apollo Crews and Alicia Fox and Jinder Mahal and Ember Moon, I think is what it was. Or no, it wasn't Ember Moon.
Apollo Crews and Ember Moon.
Apollo Crews and Ember Moon, yeah, against Alicia and Jinder Mahal. You couldn't have cut that segment and had one of these two matches on Raw.
Well,
we were talking about this beginning of the Raw being like, what if they do a title change? What if the Revival wins the titles? And then they had the idea of, let's maybe have a tag team, not a tag team, let's maybe have the Intercontinental title change hands. And it's like, okay, so what happened on this episode of Raw? We got an attack that led to a match that led to a match that led to an attack. No titles changed hands, but they did the whole like, well, you know, the one thing didn't happen 100%, so maybe we can just go back and repeat it again, which is like, God damn it. All you did in 2018 was repeat yourself. Stop repeating yourself. That's one of the problems. And we got the two people that are like, well, we're going to bring these people onto the roster on main event. That's not going to do anything. Nobody's going to watch main event. And when they come up to the main roster in whatever capacity they do on Raw and SmackDown, people are going to act like it was the first time they've ever seen them because nobody's going to watch it. Just confuses me that they can do this kind of stuff and then get confused that people are still like, yeah, I don't trust this.
Yep. Because EC3 is a main event guy, and that is a really bad move to put him on main event.
It's so dumb. And Lacey Evans couldn't even beat Natalya on main event. Natalya didn't need to win. Come on.
Yeah, like if you're going to put her on main event, put her up against Dana and let her give Dana the woman's right and then pick her up and do it again. Because she's
right.
Dana Brooke. And, you know, like, I don't know. I don't get it. I think that they want, maybe they're not sure what they want to do. You know, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they're not sure. Maybe EC3 ends up coming up and winning the Royal Rumble.
That ain't happening. There's more of a chance that Heavy Machinery wins both Universal titles than that they'll figure out all the stuff that goes along with these people. I just don't have any faith anymore. Kind of like, I shouldn't be surprised that this kind of stuff happens, but I still am surprised because it's still just sort of one of those things where it's like, really? Like, man, you couldn't even go... Technically speaking, you couldn't go 20 minutes after the announcement that things were going to change before you still did the same old crap. But, like, I was willing to give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt when it came to the pre-recorded shows. Now you're on brand new material. You have no excuse. Nope. That's all I got.
Yeah, I think that's it for me too.
Yeah, so you got your double dose, essentially, of hot tags, everybody. So that kind of fills the void a little bit. And you're going to get another episode of the Smack Talk podcast coming up later on this week when we talk about our predictions for NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool. And then, of course, following that, on Saturday night, we are going to be doing the post show when it comes to that and breaking down those 4 matches, 5 if they add another one, but I don't think that they will at this point. And that'll be coming up Thursday, Saturday, something along those lines. So pay attention to that kind of stuff. And if you want to be aware of when that gets posted, there's a couple of different things that you can do. One of them being that you can subscribe on the YouTube channel and ring off that little bell for notifications. You can follow the Facebook and Twitter accounts at SmarkOutMoment. Check out SmarkOutMoment.com for all the stuff that's happening on that side of things. Go to Fanboys Anonymous if you want to check out the material that I have going on there. And if you want to help keep the lights on the monetary side of things, throw some spare change our way through the Patreon account or the Redbubble or TeePublic shops. You can also pay attention to the stuff that's happening outside of Smark Out Moment, like the Wrestling News and Bleacher Report articles and the stuff that we've got going on, just like, random other projects that we've got. So follow us on our Instagrams and Twitters and whatever the fuck social media things are going around nowadays. You got those Instabooks and those Facegrams and,
those goddamn Facegrams.
Those tweetsters and stuff. What plugs you want to toss out there?
WrestleZone.com and eWrestlingNews.com are your best sources for your daily wrestling news. Now, we're working very hard, Tony and myself, to get eWrestling news to a new level, and WrestleZone.com has been one of the standards for forever, and it's a reliable source for wrestling news. Outside of that, I have my clothing brand, Time Killer Apparel, and if you want to pick up a hoodie, a t-shirt, it really helps support me, and by virtue of that, support us monetarily. And follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DudeFelice. I'm sure I'll have a lot more coming in this year, and it should be fun.
A lot more probably even coming up in a bunch of hours when it comes to the Double or Nothing thing. So pay attention to what we got going on here, everybody. And thank you, of course, for all your support. Thank you for your comments below. If you want to chime in and tell us your thoughts on all these different types of topics that we're talking about, we will see you next time. This has been another Smark Out Moment, and we're being counted out.